Good morning. Um, Happy Thursday. I had to think for a moment. It is Thursday. Um, sunnier today, maybe a little warmer. That would be great. I have more work to do. I actually brought things in the house today or yesterday to paint um, because it was just too cold. So now my uh, dining room table is covered with little pieces of trim. But I'm gonna, fingers crossed, get everything installed today. We'll see. Um, so I'm trying to think. This today. Oh, it's really, nothing, right? It's just the um, beginning of December. Um, I've been thinking about getting my Christmas shopping done sooner rather than later. You might want to think about that as well. I know uh, we ordering things from Amazon is taking a great deal longer than normal. So if that was one of your things, for us that was always like, because just getting the kids to put some things on a list or tell us what they wanted, that always took a while, and then trying to get things. So yeah, everything is delayed. Mail is delayed still. Um, Things are taking a great deal longer than normal. So trying to be mindful of that. Um, and also, things are running out at the grocery stores again. So I hope you have plenty of toilet paper. Um, there's not a lot in my grocery store, and certainly other things too. Remember, the restaurant stores are still available. They have toilet paper, and you'll find that sometimes at places like even like Lowe's and Home Depot sometimes have toilet paper and paper towels when nobody else does. So we have to be a little creative now, thinking of things to sort of tide us over through the winter. So today, I think I want to talk a little bit about this idea of influence. Um, so one thing um, that I was reading an article about is this idea of that we have kind of a negative bias. Um, and they've done sort of studies about this, that negative experiences, negative um, information, all these things seem to light up the brain in a way that positive things don't, which is kind of funny, right? You might think it was the opposite, but actually, um, and I imagine it makes sense probably from a scientific standpoint. The idea that we want to avoid the negative experiences, so those are things that will stick with us from a survival aspect. Don't do that again, right? Because that turned out badly. Um, but from a kind of a mental health standpoint, it's not great, right? Negative stories, negative information, those are the things that seem to stick with us. Um, and we tend to hold more memory of that than, say, positive things. So with that bias, it's easy to begin to maybe uh, see things in a very negative light. Um, People who complain a lot, right, are stuck in this kind of negative um, view. And I know you probably know some people like this who they are sort of the masters of complaining. Like everything, everything is a complaint, um, and they're quite creative in the way they express themselves with the complaint. And in some way, sometimes it can be kind of entertaining, but it can also wear on you over time. Um, when we are in this sort of mode, complaining mode, we're in a destructing mode, right? So we're tearing down um, rather than building. So we can have two different ways of doing things, right? Um, and ideally, there's a progression, right? So if there's a problem, we might identify the problem, break it down, and then rebuild the solution. When we are stuck in this complaint mode, all we do is destruct, right? We never have a resolution. We never work towards a resolution. We are just um, sort of we've accepted that there's sort of nothing to be done, and we're just always going to be complaining about something. Um, it's very self-destructive. It's just very negative, right? I mean, how can you have a positive view of the world when you think everything is against you and nothing will ever be resolved in a positive way? Um, so rather than think about what's wrong, turn that to think about what's right. Um, we are expert at identifying our slights and uh, offenses, right? Um, but we are so reticent to sort of identify the good behavior when really that's the only way to get things accomplished, right? And if you know anything about um, like this idea of positive reinforcement and positive behavioral therapy, that's kind of how it works. And at the most basic level, like training your dog, right? The most popular way of doing that these days is this idea of positive reinforcement. So not punishing the dog for doing wrong, but rewarding good behavior when you see it. So catching them in a moment of doing um, what you want them to do and reward them. So, not to equate human behavior with dog behavior, but honestly, it's pretty much the same thing, right? I mean, we aren't that much more complicated than dogs in many ways. Um, and thinking about things in a more simple way can be helpful, right? So if you have someone in your life who is doing things that are just driving you crazy, rather than nagging them over and over, right, complaining, giving them negative reinforcement, instead, when they do something or they don't do that thing that bothers you, praise them. Point out, wow, what a great job you've done. This is great. I really appreciate this. Um, these are the things that will be positive for them, positive for you. So, the other aspect of influence that we can talk about is the fact that the people around you influence you. The things around you certainly do as well, right? Um, the things you watch on TV, content that you consume, um, people, right? And they say that, we are sort of an average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So if you have people around you who are doing bad things, doing things that are dangerous or detrimental to their health or others' health, they're going to pull you down, right? They're going to pull down your average. And by the same token, if you have someone who is, doing good things, that's going to encourage you to do the good things as well. So it does matter, right? Um, that being said, sometimes we don't have a choice about the people that we are with. Sometimes we do, and I mean that's a really important thing to remember, that you always do have a choice. Even family members, even loved ones, and spouses and things like that. There can be times when it's a very toxic relationship, and choices may have to be made. I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying you could. And that's the real key, is to know that you could make that decision. If you choose not to, then it's your choice, right? You are choosing to be in this situation. And sometimes that knowledge makes the difference between suffering in a situation and knowing that you're here for a reason. You have a goal, right? You're working through this to whatever end you've got going on. I will use for an example my relationship with my father, right? Difficult guy to get along with. Certainly mellowed over the years, but when he lived with us and he was getting older and more ill, I had a lot of interaction with him, had to take him to the doctors and do all of these things. Um, it was not the easiest thing I ever had to do. He's a super negative guy. He really did kind of pull things down for me. But I had made that choice, right? That I was going to do this for him. So I had to get through it, right? I could have said, "Hey, man, I'm not doing this anymore. You're out of here," right? I mean, that's an option, but I chose not to take that option. So then I have to see it through, right? Um, but knowing that changed how I felt about it. Instead of feeling trapped, I felt like, okay, well, this is hard. This is going to be hard, but I've chosen this, and I'm going to work through it. Um, and I think the important thing to remember when it comes to the things in your life that are around you and influencing you is to make it a choice, right? You choose to be around these folks or not be around these folks. It's your choice. And knowing that they can have that influence, you need to do what you can to um, mitigate that, right? So maybe, when I was working with my dad a lot, I got very into yoga because it helped balance me out. It was a good influence to counteract some of that negativity that I was dealing with on a daily basis. Um, so your life isn't about making everything easy. Your life is about being strong enough and resilient enough to get through the things that aren't easy. It would be nice if we could always have everything smooth sailing and nice people and good times, but that's not how it is. Um, we want to build ourselves up inside so that we can deal with these influences around us that are negative and difficult and scary and all the other things that may come down the line. Um, Building that self, building that connection so that we can move through and thrive regardless. So um, let's do that. Doesn't that sound easy? Let's just do it. Well, it's not easy, but it is achievable um, to some extent, right? Some days you're gonna feel like you're really succeeding, some days you won't, but um, it's a goal, and it's a really useful goal. All right, so let's do some asana. Sitting up tall, keep breathing. Head can hang down. And then lifting the chin, keep lifting, head drops back. Back to center, take a breath, and lower the head down. Back up and lower to the left. Back to center. Let's extend the arms out in front. And then behind, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Gaze up. And then back to your seat, arms wide. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, arms together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers and lift the hands. We're gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Once more, lifting up. And then right arm down by your side, reach across with the left. Switch sides. And back up. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Goalpost arms. Take a deep breath. And then we're twisting shoulders to the right. Back to center, take a breath in, moving to the left. And back to center. Bring the arms behind you, interlace the fingers. We'll set the hands down, gaze up. And then lean forward a little. You could lift the arms or just keep them behind you. Just kind of stretching the shoulders. And back up. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Sit up tall. Deep breath in, and then fold forward. Come on back up. We're gonna bring the left foot in front. So just kind of slide that across. Right leg is by your side. Okay? Is that clear? So your left foot might be close to the knee. If this is hard, you can bring the knee up a little bit. If you can't bring it all the way back, that's fine. We're going to sit up tall and then right hand on left knee, left arm behind you, sit up straight and take a twist. back to center, and we're going to switch it. So now this right leg is in front, left knee back, sitting up here, and then taking a twist to the right. So you should feel this, in this outer hip area, maybe the thigh, certainly through the shoulders, and then back. Let's extend both legs out. Point and flex. Rotate. One way and the other. And then arms overhead, deep breath, fold forward. Coming back up, let's bend the right knee. Hug that in close. And then lowering the knee out to the side. Right foot close to left thigh. Take a deep breath. And then we're going to lean forward, folding over the left leg. Moving back up, we'll switch. Sit up tall here, and then lower the knee. Take a deep breath, fold forward. Coming back up, both legs out in front. Deep breath in, fold forward. Coming back up, let's point and flex the feet again. Rotating one way. And the other. And then we're going to I'm going to turn this way. Bend the knees, catch a hold of the feet or the toes. Lean back a little so you're balanced. And then extending. You could go halfway or extending the whole way. And then bend the knees, set the feet back down. We're going to move into boat pose. So we've got knees bent. You can kind of hold on to the back of the legs if that helps you kind of get balanced. And then extend the arms if you want. Extend the legs. If that's too much, just hold on to the legs. Breathe. And then resting back down. Bring the soles of the feet together, sit up tall, and fold. Back up. Make sure you've got some room behind you. Lowering down. Rest on the mat. Relax. Let's extend the legs if they aren't already. Maybe bring the feet a little wider. Arms out for a 5-pointed star. Let the body sink into the mat. And then let's bend the knees. Soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to bring the arms. So it's kind of going to be kind of like eagle arms, but we aren't going to wrap. We're just bringing the right arm under the left and reaching for the shoulder. Then we're going to bring the right knee over top of, the left, right? We're going to go take a big inhale. On the exhale, we're going to bring the elbows to the knees, right? So we're going to kind of crunch together. That's the exhale. Inhale comes back down. We're going to do 3 sets of this. So inhale, exhale, inhale, let's do one more. Okay. And then we're going to switch. Other side. So left over right, left under right. Breath in. And then relax. 5-pointed star again. And then everything back to center. And the knees, we've got right ankle on top of left knee. You could stay here, or left leg comes in. And then set the foot down. We're going to leave that right ankle on top of left knee. Goalpost arms or arms to a T, then lowering down. Moving back. Let's switch your sides. Same thing. Whatever you did on one side, we'll do on the other. And then rest your foot down and lower that knee. Back to center. Extend the legs long. 5-pointed star again. Relax. So maybe make sort of a loose fist with your hand, not tight, just loose fist. And then we're going to rotate the wrists. One direction and then the other. Let's bring the arms up overhead. And we're going to bring the legs together. Going into that banana asana. So we're moving the arms and the legs to the right. You could bring that left foot on top of the other, kind of stretching a little more through that left side. And then back to the middle, moving to the left. It doesn't have to be a big movement. We're trying to keep the rest of the body pretty flat on the mat. Everything back to center. Let's bring the hands by your side, palms up. Take a few breaths. We're going to move into supported bridge. So if you've got a block, I'm going to lift up. I hope you have a block by now, because we do supported bridge pretty regularly. See if you can let the rest of the body relax. Lifting up, remove the block. Rest back down. Soles of the feet together. Maybe bring the hands on the belly. Feel that rise and fall. And then when you're ready, just move into Shavasana here. You could extend the legs. Or if you want to, take another pose or two to get yourself ready for it. It's up to you. Just feeling relaxed and steady. Breathe. And so the thing about influence is that there are a lot of things we can choose, right? We can choose how much time we're going to spend watching the news, reading social media, looking at Facebook, all of these things. If you find these things are not helping you, if they bring you down, if you actually feel worse, and I mean, there have been a lot of studies that show that overall, people tend to feel worse the more time they spend on social media. So if you notice this about yourself, you're not alone. And you can decide not to participate. You don't have to be there. It is your choice. And as in everything in your life, you want to make the choices that make you feel good, that make you lift you up, not drag you down. So choose wisely the influences that you bring into your life. Um, and consider the influence you may have on others. Can you be a calming influence? Can you be a steadying influence? Ideally, we share some of what we learn in yoga with others. That doesn't mean we all become teachers, but we share it just by shining, just by being sort of this best version of ourselves. Um, we lead by our example. And in these times when things are feeling very uncertain and very up in the air, we need this more than ever. We need people who can be steady, who can be an anchor for others. You can lift up their average with your uh, positive influence. It's a serious responsibility, right? Um, it helps you and it helps others. So there's no reason not to practice that, to keep that in your mind when you feel like you want to snap at someone or blow up at them because they've said something to make you angry. Um, is that the influence you want to have? Is that the influence you want to be? Moving a bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet if you want to stretch a bit now, and then making your way up to a seat. We've got hands together, breath in and breath out. Thank you for taking some time this morning for yoga, for sharing it with me here. I hope you have a really good Thursday. Namaste. Thank you. I don't know if I said good morning to you guys. Dora and Ruth and Deb. Good morning. Okay, 5 minutes of meditation. Let's do it. Sitting up tall, relaxed breath. Close your eyes. Find that peaceful center. Coming back to awareness. Breathe. Okay. There you go. Some yoga and meditation for your day. I hope you have a really good rest of the day. I hope you find some positive influences and that you are a positive influence. And I'll be back tomorrow. See you then.